Okay, so we have printed everything. All right, so this is the chip bag. Remember when I was telling you, um, I can, on my prior one, how it had the white around it, you can actually cut that. If you don't want any white on it, on your image when it prints, you can cut that. I'm again gonna leave that on here because her school colors are red, black, and white, okay? So we can see we have our middle piece, we have our two side back pieces, okay? We have our candy bar wrapper, and then we have our water bottle label. So what I'm going to do first is just go ahead and cut the water bottle label and the candy bar wrapper, okay? I'm just gonna cut along the outside. Now, if I want to stay in sync, I could leave a little bit of the white on the edge, but I think I'm just gonna cut it down to size, okay? And this is the part I hate cutting, and I probably should use my my other cutter, you know, that will cut it for me. Because sometimes I just don't cut in a straight line. All right, not sure if you have that problem or not, but I do. My eyes seem to sometimes play tricks on me, and I just don't see well with cutting. We're gonna try and make it work. Okay, and then I have pulled out also my double-sided tape. So you can either use glue or double-sided tape. Now I will tell you, I prefer the double-sided tape over the glue because sometimes the glue becomes too clunky. And so when it dries hard. Sometimes it will smear your color. So therefore you have the double-sided tape, everything is down and smooth, okay? So let's okay. So I really should have used my edger cutter so that it could cut. But okay, so I got this cut, and then I'm just gonna cut this water bottle label. And again, you should be able to print and fit at least 4 or 5 on your sheet, depending upon the size of your water bottles, right? These are water bottles from the grocery store. So just like with if you do sublimation, you know, doing tumblers, no matter where you buy your tumblers from, they're always going to be different sizes. So even if you buy from the same vendor, I've seen where the size is a little bit different. So just always get in the habit of measuring your water bottle label or your water bottle labels, the original ones that are on the water bottle, or just measuring around the water bottle itself to make sure that you get the correct measurements each time that you do the project. Because even though I measured going around the water bottle for the first time I did this, I noticed that the water bottle label was still a little shy of what it should have been. Like going around, and I had measured it perfectly and printed according to the actual label, and just didn't do it. It didn't make it for some reason. And remember, I was saying earlier, that's what I've noticed sometimes when I put my measurements in, don't always print the right measurements. So that's why I try and do a little overage sometimes. All right, so what we have is the double-sided tape. I get this off of Amazon. This one comes in a 6-pack, and I want to say I got it for $10. And it has different sizes to it. Okay, so, or the thickness, I should say, like for the width. So as you can see, like those are a little bit wider. And then it's another mid-size before you get down to, so the sizes seem to change. So you have your thicker, your mid, and then your smaller. So I'm gonna use the smaller, okay? But I love this tape, double-sided tape. I just love it, love it, love it. Okay, and this is the crimper machine. So it crimps by you turning it. So you'll actually put the chip bag ridge in the bottom here, and then you just turn it. And it's gonna pull the chip bag in and turn it too. So you just be careful so that you don't, you know, crunch up all your chips in the bag also. So we will take our first item here. Again, I'm not going to cut off anything on here, okay? And yes, this is much larger than the chip bag, so we can make them a little smaller, or you can, so we can actually make this template. It doesn't have to be as high as we made it, right? So we can make it to be a little shorter too, but it's up to you. But you might get a chip bag bag, excuse me, a chip bag box where the bags are like 2 ounce, right? Instead of 1 ounce. So you just have to determine before you get ready to print or create your template, measure the height of your chip bag, and then add like another extra inch or inch and a half on top of this, right? So that way you don't have it so big, so much larger than the actual chip bag. So you can do that as well. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just for visual purposes right now, I'm just gonna lay this in the center and then just wrap around to make sure that everything is gonna wrap around properly. Okay. So I'll have all of my nutrition, and then I'll have her name and her picture around before I start to tape any of this. And in the front, you will only see what we designed for the middle piece, okay? So let's get to pulling this tape out. Where is the edge here? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and tape around all of the edges. And again, this is where my eyes sometimes will play tricks on me yet again. I don't have good eyesight. So I'll just start off with a little small piece so I can get this down here, just to the corner piece here, right? Okay, I'll start it there, and then I can, and be careful with the tape because once you lay it down, it's sticking, and you don't want to pull it up and mess up your image because it'll peel off from the back, okay? So I'm gonna cut this little piece here, then continue on going down. And then at the very end is when I'll pull off the top layer of the tape so we can get to the stickiness and start to wrap. And hopefully this is working well for you. I hope this tutorial has really helped you. Because again, these can be really, really fun to make, right? And you can hear it. I'm pulling it up and it's kind of tearing the back. So I need to be very, very careful with placing this down. Okay. But as I was saying, you know, you're having graduation parties or doing this for graduation parties, you could do these for birthday parties, anniversaries, um, or grand openings, um, any kind of special event you can make these for. That's the fun part. Weddings, right? So they may want to have little grab bags to go. You might want to put wrap candy bar wrappers with the bride and groom on it and the wedding date. Put a bunch of little kisses in a little bag and wrap that up, right? You can even do the smaller candy bars. You know how you get the, what is it, the Mr. Good bar, the Hershey little small kiss, not kisses, but the little small Hershey bars. You can make those size wrappers. All you gotta do is measure around it to get your measurements. So it's a lot of things that you can do for this when it comes down to goodie bags. And I'm just trying to get this to where I'm not going over the edge. Okay. All right. So I have my tape wrapped all around it. Let me just get my little picker to peel off the top part of the tape. We're gonna put that chip bag in and seal it up. Okay, so just with your double-sided tape, you know, you have the top part that is that has the strip on it until you're ready to use it, but your sticky part is down. Okay, so now let me make sure the bag is right up. I'm going to position my chips here in the center. Okay, I'm gonna bring these back over and I'm only going to tape the sides, like pulling it over and taping the sides down. I do not want to tape the tops yet, okay? Just the side of the bag. So I'm just making sure I bring around one side here. I'm just gonna lay it on the chip bag just to get my bearing for it, okay? Now I'm gonna bring around the second side of it. I'm gonna lay that on top of the white line here, okay, gently, because I do not want this to go down yet across the top or the bottom. So I still have this open on both sides. Now, the easiest way to make sure that this is evenly done, you will start pressing from the middle. So you're gonna make sure you kind of line up that good. Press from the middle and out, okay? So that's the top. I'm gonna flip it over and do the same thing to the bottom. Start from the middle. So I'm gonna line it up. I'm starting from the middle here, so I still have the outers open, and then press down. Okay, now we have our chip bag, okay? You can do this with cotton candy or whatever. And popcorn, you could put popcorn in Ziploc bags or little cellophane bags, right? And then put the popcorn down in here to make it fuller too. And like I said, you can also make it smaller. The smaller it goes, the fuller it probably will be with your bag of chips, okay? So it just depends on your bag of chips. So that is for the chip bag. We're gonna hold this aside and then we're gonna crimp all at once. So now I'm gonna do the same thing. I have my candy bar wrapper. I just wanna measure around, make sure that my measurements came out pretty good. And then it's gonna cover the whole bar. Okay, yes. So I'm gonna do my tape again around the outer edges. The next one would be your water bottle label. And remember, that's a sticker. So we can just peel the back off and wrap that around the water bottle. So I'm just gonna evenly try and put this up against the edge here to where it will not go over the edge. Okay, cut the little excess and go on around. Okay, and then just taping the last side. Okay. All right, so now again, I'm just gonna peel off the top layer of the tape and that will leave down the sticky portion. Okay, so now the easiest way to do this is if you put your candy bar in and try to line it up within your section, right, of how you made the candy bar, the top part that's going to wrap around that. Okay, so I have mine positioned. The candy bar is up here. I'm going to wrap around first the small part, the top small part. Okay. Just come up a little bit because it shifted. I'm going to come and lay my top part over, and that's the smaller piece on the top. Okay, now I can fold up the bottom section, and it should meet or go over the top line. Okay, so now it's wrapped. And again, you can start in the middle by pinching and spreading out. Same thing with the other side, starting in the middle and spreading out. There, now we have our candy bar wrapper. Last but not least, it's our water bottle label. Okay, and normally I don't pull it off all the way. Normally I just start with some of it, like a quarter ways, because I know how I can be. I can not get it started right and trying to pull it up and then it rips. So I have to be careful with this one because I only printed one. I'm going to position it on the water bottle and then just take my label all the way around, okay, until I reach the other side. So I'm just wrapping it where it was taken off at earlier. Okay. And now we have the water bottle label put on. Okay. So we have done it. We have our chip bag, and of course it's a little flat because it's a smaller bag of chips, right? It's not as bulky, but again, you can make this bag shorter or you can get a larger chip bag. The one I used was a little 1 ounce, but I know that they have the 2 ounces out there too that are fuller and will probably work better with this size. Otherwise, measure the bag and just go 1.5 inches up, right? And that will be your template for your height. So therefore you won't have all this excess. And then you have your candy bar and then your water bottle with the label. Now the last thing is, and you don't have to do this, this just gives it a little added touch. If you want to crimp, now I got this crimper off of Amazon. It's like $16.99 or something like that. All you will do is stick your end into the in between the 2 grooves in here. And sometimes it can be a little tricky trying to get it positioned in here. I'm going to sit it in here, close down, and try and see if I just start to turn, if it's going to grab. Okay, and it's grabbing. I'm just going to go down so far, bring it back up, and you can see the grooves that it placed here on the bottom. And we'll turn it over and do it for the same thing for the top. Just going to open it up. I can stick it in there. I'm just trying to get this down in between. There's an opening with the groove so that it will be even. And I'm just turning it down some and then back. Okay. So now I have made the ridges on the top. Okay. And that's the chip bag. We'll do the same if you want with the candy bar. And I'm just gonna twirl it just a little bit on that end to seal it better. And the same thing on the other side. Try not to crush the candy. And you can probably see it better on the back. You can see the ridge here and then the ridge there. Okay, so that does it. You now have your water bottle with the labels, your candy bar wrapped, and your chip bag. So again, hopefully this video has been helpful for you. And as you're going through and, making it, if you have questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out and I will help you the best way possible. All right, thank you so much for reviewing and have a wonderful day.